the misconception behind hard work. If you search up online how to succeed, the answer you likely get every single time is work hard. The harder you work, the more higher chance of succeeding you have, right? But is this really the case? I mean, Proverbs 10:4 tells us, he who has a slack hand becomes poor, but the hand of the diligent, the hand of the hard worker makes rich. So, by working harder, you should be on the path of riches. You should be getting more money. You should be more successful. But this isn't always the case. At least I know this from personal experience. I love the law of reaping and sowing. Whatever you sow, you also reap. And in middle school, I understood this law. So I said, okay, I'm going to sow. And I sowed in the basketball. My dream, my goal, my ambition was to play in the NBA. So in 7th grade, I was working hard. I'd wake up sometimes 3 o'clock in the morning to dribble in the mornings. I remember bringing a dumbbell to my bus stop one time, just getting some curls in. I was just sewing a lot so I could reap a lot, right? I was putting 1,000 shots up every week and getting 100 shots up every day for just hours. And this was in middle school. So I was sewing so much that I should reap a lot. However, in 7th grade, I didn't even make the team. In 8th grade, I got no minutes. Even though I was sewing so much, even though I was working so hard, I was not reaping much. So I was like, what's going on? It made me really frustrated because I was working harder than anyone else I knew, but I wasn't seeing the same results as everyone else does. And that's the first time I realized, hey, this hard work actually worked. In high school, in my senior year of high school, I would wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning again, and I'll go work in my job in the morning for school. Then I'll go to school, and then I'll have basketball practice. I'll make sure to work out on the side as well. So I had a whole day, and I did this for my whole entire senior year. And then when summer came around, after basketball season, I still wake up at 3 and go to school, and then I would go to my other job. So I was working 10 hours a day on a school day, right? And I was working very hard. And a few months after the school, after my basketball season ended, I was like, yo, I'm really trading my entire day for $120. I was working 10 hours, going to school, working out, and then going to work again. I was like, yo, I'm trading my whole day for $120. Is this worth it? And then I realized also that some people, they're working less harder than me, but they're having more money. They're being more successful than I am, even though they're not working as hard. He who has a slack hand becomes poor. I didn't have a slack hand. I had a diligent hand. So I should be making rich, but that wasn't the case. That wasn't the case with basketball, with me sewing so much into that. And that wasn't the case with me sewing much into my jobs where I'm working 10 hours a day, still only for $120. I was like, this isn't worth it. My hard work isn't working like I wanted to. So that's the second time I realized that, hard work, it's needed, but it is not the determining factor. And that's the first misconception of hard work that we have, is that hard work alone will not give you success. But you gotta also work smart. I think about myself in middle school. Again, I would wake up sometimes 3 o'clock in the morning to dribble. And most of it was in my unfinished basement at the time. So it would be stationary drills. I did have a little cone drill that I did, but most of it was just stationary stuff, right? And then for me getting basketball shots up, I would get like a lot of shots, but it was all stationary. It was form shots. It was maybe a little bit of a move, or I was working on a fadeaway that I don't use because I'm not that tall. So like it was me working hard, but I wasn't working smart. I was sowing a lot, but I wasn't reaping a lot because I wasn't doing it the right way. I wasn't doing it smart. And that's the same way with my 2 jobs. I was working hard, working 10 hours a day on school days. Basketball season, I was still working. So I should make a lot of money, right? Not necessarily, right? Because just because you're working hard doesn't mean you're making the most success you can, because you also have to work smart. The hand of diligent makes rich, right? The hand of hard working makes rich, but you also have to work smart. So I realized, hey, if I want to make more money, I can't be trading my time, which is a limited resource, and my muscles, which is a limited resource, for money, right? That only gives you a limited amount of money, right? So I realized, hey, I gotta work hard, that's true, but I also gotta work smart. I have to do the right things, and you have to work hard at the right things, which is the first misconception we have. Just because you work hard doesn't mean you get rich. You'll be on a path that leads to riches, but you have to also work smart at what you're doing. The second misconception behind hard work is what Denzel Washington said. Just because you're doing a lot more doesn't mean you're getting a lot more done. Don't confuse movement with progress, right? So with basketball, I would work out for hours a day, but like I said, it was like stationary. It wasn't like me like moving around, doing a lot of different stuff. It wasn't game situation. See, in basketball, you never shoot the same shot 2 times in a row, right? But for my practice, I was doing the same thing in a row. I was doing the same drills, the same shots, and I wasn't getting a lot better. I was doing a lot more, but I wasn't getting a lot more done. I realized in basketball, you got to have variability. You have to have your brain adapt, right? So like, let's say I'll shoot a shot from the left wing, and then I shoot a right one dribble pull up from the right wing, right? So it's like two different shots. That makes your brain have to adapt because you're using different situations. And then when the game comes where there's different situations because you don't shoot the same shot 2 times in a row, then my brain is already adapted. I already practiced that, right? So in high school, I said, yo, I'm gonna work out for an hour. I'm gonna work out for an hour, no more. And when I did that, I could put more effort into that hour, and I could do the right things in that hour, and I was getting more done than I did before by putting a ton of hours in because I was doing the right thing. Because just because I'm doing less doesn't mean I'm getting less done, right? Don't confuse movement with progress. And then my 2 jobs, I realized, okay, I'm putting 10 hours a day. I'm doing a lot, but am I getting a lot done? I don't mean like, am I getting a lot done like doing my work? Like, I got a lot of tasks done, but like, how valuable were my tasks? I realized you get paid by how much value you bring, right? If I bring more value to a company, they'll want to pay me more because of the value I'm bringing, right? So the jobs I was doing, they were hard-working jobs. I was working hard, but it wasn't as valuable as my manager, who could have put in less hours than I did, but got paid more because his work was more valuable, right? So just because I was doing a lot more doesn't mean I was getting a lot more done. Just because I was working harder doesn't mean I should get paid more than other people who are bringing more value into what they're doing. So with basketball, just because you're doing a lot more work doesn't mean it's as valuable. You have to put in valuable work, and by putting in valuable work, you can get a lot more done in less time. So remember, the third misconception I want to say about hard work is when you work hard and don't succeed, you didn't fail. Right? I think about basketball. I worked so hard at basketball, and I didn't get where I wanted to get to. Right? I wasn't as good as I thought I could be, and I didn't reach my goals in basketball. However, the hard work, it always pays off. You always reap what you sow, right? And I don't regret at all how hard I worked because I learned a lot from it. I got better from it as a person. I have a character of a hard worker now because I was so hard working back then, right? So even though I worked so hard and I didn't reach my goal, I learned a lot from it. I got better as a person from it. So all work works. You know, in all labor there's profit, it says in Proverbs again. So just every time you work, you get a profit from it. Right? So always work hard, even though you may say, man, I'm not getting paid enough for my job, or man, I'm not, no one sees what I'm doing. Always work hard. And another thing is, just because you're working hard is something that has less value, that is a less valuable work, it's not less valuable. So like my jobs, I said I worked 10 hours a day doing stuff that was just mundane. It was like tasks like, hey, I'm a sweep here. And it's just little tasks like that. It's not as valuable to the company as my manager's job was, but it still is valuable. I love what it says in Colossians 3:17. It says, and whatever you do in word or deed, do all in the name of the Lord Jesus, giving thanks to God the Father through him. See, God can be glorified in whatever work we're doing. I had a thought this morning. There was some landscapers outside, and I'm like, man, they're working so hard. They're not getting paid that much. But I realized they can bring God more glory in what they're doing than people who are making $1 million business deals. If they do it with all their might, if they do it heartily as to the Lord, not to men, if they do it in a way that's going to glorify God, if they do it with integrity, if they do it with all their might, if they do it with love, they can get God more glory in working as something like landscaping that doesn't pay you that much, that isn't as valuable. They can work hard at that and give God more glory than someone who's making $1 million business deals, right? So just because your work isn't as valuable as your pay, it's still valuable in the eyes of God. We need doctors, we need lawyers, we need teachers, right? They don't get paid as much as other people, but we still need those people. We need landscapers. We need the jobs that I had. You know, we need janitors. We need these people. We need people who are going to work hard at that, and it's still glorifying God. It also says in Colossians 3:23, and whatever you do, do it heartily as to the Lord and not to men. Here, the apostle is talking about slaves. And it's like, yo, slaves, you got to work hard as if you're working for God rather than men. And that's how that's our attitude towards hard work. See, the misconception about hard work is when I work hard and don't succeed, or when I work hard and I'm not getting paid a lot, my value isn't there, then my hard work is for nothing. But your hard work is never for nothing. In all labor, there is profit. And remember that you're working for God. Work for the glory of God. And when you do that, I promise you, your hard work will pay off. See, and one last thing, which is probably the most important thing I'm going to say in this video, is how I started this video in Proverbs 10:4. He who has a slack hand becomes poor. See, in my 2 jobs, I was working 10 hours a day for like 120 to 140 bucks, right? And I would get paid that amount based on how much I worked, not how well I did my job. So I could just put in my hours and have a slack hand and not have integrity, not do it wholeheartedly, not do it for my might, and I can still get paid the same amount. But I realized when I do that, I'm serving mammon, I'm serving money, and I'm not serving God. See, your hard work is to serve God. Your hard work is to glorify God. Your work that you're doing, even though you may not get paid a lot, even though it may not end up succeeding like you think it is, it's still going to glorify God if you do it for your might. So the hand of the diligent makes rich. Rich in what sense? Rich in a lot of money? Yeah, it can make rich in a lot of money, but also it can be rich in the eyes of God because He gives more glory for it. But if you have a slack hand, even if you make a lot of money, you're actually on a path to poverty. So that's the 3 misconceptions about hard work. Just because you're doing, the first one is work smart. Do the right thing. Make sure to work smart. Don't just say, hey, I'm doing a lot, so I'm getting a lot done. Which is the second misconception. Hey, just because you're doing a lot more doesn't mean you're getting a lot more done. And the third one is whatever you're doing, do it for the glory of God. Do it for the glory of God. No matter how valuable or not valuable based on money your job may be, do all for the glory of God. And I promise you, your hard work will be worth it. If you like this video, please like this video, man. Thank you for watching, and I appreciate you, man.